washed, sleep with your wife, have a meal, rest a little bit. The foreigner officer says to him, no, I will sleep in the street. When my soldiers are fighting the battle, look at the contrast. The king. That's what he says to him. I won't sleep with my wife. I'm going to go sleep on the street because my troops are fighting. I can't go do this. He says to him, amazing. So the king tries again, twice. The king tells him, go home and eat and drink, and he says no. So the king is in dire straits, and he's trying to figure out plan B. Okay, what's plan B going to be? Ooh, let me think.
Send him to the front line.
Kill the girl.
Kill
the guy.
So look how King David is trying to trick this whole thing for his benefit. He writes a telegram. He writes a death letter. Gives it to the hand of of Uriah himself. He's the messenger. He says, take this letter to the general who is in the front. The letter says, this man, put him at the most dangerous area, so he might be taken by the war. So now think of poor Uriah. He's fighting the war. He is giving an example, not going home. His wife is knocked up by the king. Now he's carrying his own death letter to the front, gives it to the general. The general reads it, sends Uriah to the front line, the dangerous area, and he dies of the war.
That worked out for David.
Did not work out for David. Because Jerusalem is a small place, and there is gossip, and there's rumors, and people have heard, and I guess everyone knows. And then there's like maybe one of the most beautiful conversations in the Bible. The prophet Nathan, who here his name is Nathan, honored name, Nathan, the prophet Nathan confronts the king very boldly. Now he doesn't want to come directly and tell him in his face, you knocked up the guy's wife and you killed his husband, this is bad, no, shame on you. He tells him a story, parable. That's how you say it, a parable? Mm-hmm. He tells him a story. It's a story about the poor man's sheep. The poor man's, how do you say one sheep? A sheep?
Yes, sheep.
The poor man's sheep. He says, there was once a city with one rich man who had thousands of goats and sheep and camels and land and everything. And there was another gentleman who had one little sheep who he loved very much, and he would comb her hair and give her milk, and at night they would cuddle together to keep each other warm. And a guest comes to the town, and the rich man takes the poor man's one sheep, makes barbecue out of it, and feeds the guest. He tells this story to King David. David hears this story. He is furious. What a terrible thing to do! This man, he should die. This is like the worst human behavior I've ever heard. Nathan says to him, you are that man. Ata ha'ish.
In your face.
Like that. Just like that.
Wow.
Oy. And this is where the whole affair explodes. God enters the story. He punishes David with 3 punishments. Okay, he lives, but he punishes him with 3 punishments. The first punishment is that baby born. Oh, the girl. Her name is Bathsheba, of course. Okay, so you have to be careful from girls called Bathsheba. That means trouble if you're David. Right? the baby dies. The baby dies. That's punishment number 1. Punishment number 2: David is not allowed to build the temple. The first temple. We're going to do all the temple talk later. He is denied the right to build that temple. He thought it was his right. He was planning to do that. He brings the ark over to Jerusalem, but he's not allowed to build the temple because his hands are covered with blood, and he morally was not 100%. The third punishment is that God tells him, from this day on, you will suffer from domestic issues within your family. You were a great Minister of Foreign Affairs, but inside your house you didn't know how to deal with your things. That is where your troubles would come from. And from that chapter on, if he's a shooting star, and this is like the peak, the summit of his success. From here he goes, crashes all the way down. Things happen to him. You read the Bible. One son rapes his sister, and the other son kills him. Now the son that kills him runs away, and when he comes back, he rebels against his father, and they chase him, and Absalom, and they kill him. And like everything within his family goes wrong from that day on. He suffers till his last day from domestic internal things. That was like his third punishment. Okay, he dies at the end, of old age, but in not in misery, but I mean there's a lesson there, yeah. So,
Where was the palace?